What if you woke up tomorrow and you knew exactly what your passion was? You had perfect clarity on what you were put on this earth to do and exactly how you should do it. It was a perfect recipe. How would your life change? Would you look at things differently? Would you act differently? Would you do different things? What would change in your life? And the thing that's weird about all of this is I always thought that one day I would wake up and I would know what my passion is. I would see exactly what I was put on this earth to do. But the problem is that's exactly how it didn't happen. See, the key with finding your passion is quite literally finding what you're successful at. So you start by something you're pretty good at, maybe a little bit naturally. It comes fairly easy to you. Then you begin doing it, whatever that task or skill is. Then you begin to find some success in it, and then a passion grows from that. You see, we're put on this earth basically to reach our full potential and to achieve things, to push humanity forward. And that can be a lot of different ways. That can be through starting a business. It could be through having a corporate job or having kids. There's a lot of different ways to basically help move humanity forward and be a contributing person to society. That's the key to a passion, is figuring out what it is that allows you to make the most impact on other people. So as I sit here and contemplate this, just basically by myself, I've had about 3 weeks or so of a lot of alone time and a lot of time to think. And kind of how did I stumble upon a passion, you know? How did I get here? And really, it goes back, it starts whenever I was about 13 years old, and I needed to make some money as a young teenager, you know? And I went to several grocery stores, several restaurants, a bunch of different places, and none of them would give me a job. And the main reason was because they didn't hire somebody, I think it was under 15 or 16 years old. So I was literally just too young to get a job, which is fine, whatever. But I still needed a way to make money. So what did I do? I started a lawn care company. Did that for about 8 years. That now is my passion. Like, I am so passionate about lawnmowers, lawn care, landscaping, the business side of it, really just like home service businesses, I love. And so basically everything I've done since I was 13 years old essentially revolved around lawnmowers and lawn care in some capacity, which has now been, let's call it about 17 years. So I've been in this industry about 17 years, literally more than half of my life. And I have found some success in it, which is the reason it's my passion. Nobody wakes up one day and is like, my passion is lawnmowers. That makes essentially no sense. But it happens. And there's people that probably have even more weird passions. You know, like really a lot of people's jobs. I mean,
No matter what it is, I'm struggling to come up with examples right now.
but your passion is really something that is cultivated. It's something that's grown. It's not something that eventually you find. It's not something you find. It's similar to, honestly, like happiness. Like happiness isn't really something you find. It's really just a mindset. You know, like if you're a happy person, you're just naturally happy. You're not like searching for what's that one thing that's going to make me happy. Like once I get that big house, I'll be happy. Once I get that new job, I'll be happy. You won't. If you're not happy right now with no job or a job that you hate, you're not going to be more happy with a new job. And it's because it's a mindset. Even when you're in that shit job that you hate, you can still make the most of it. You can still do your best. You can still achieve as much as you possibly can from that circumstance. And you'll be happy. You may not like it. Like, you may not like being, say, whatever, a janitor or something. Like, I hate cleaning toilets. Okay. But how can I, at a minimum, build my discipline to be at work every single day at 6 o'clock, get done as fast as I can, highest quality work possible? Like, how can I be the best freaking janitor on the planet that can set me up for my next job? Maybe it's starting my own cleaning company. I don't know, whatever. But that's an example of where you can start as a janitor, and then from that, you have some success. Then somehow your passion is cultivated into being cleaning, which sounds as crazy as your passion being about lawnmowers. But that's the thing, is you're still achieving something. You're moving humanity forward. You're providing something that other people need. In this case, cleaning. Everybody needs cleaners. Businesses need cleaning. Airbnbs need cleaning. Like, I'm sitting in an Airbnb right now. Somebody's got to clean it after I leave. So it's an interesting concept that I've been just contemplating the last 2 or 3 weeks, and I'm still trying to find clarity on it. But I don't know. It's something interesting. Ultimately, this is raw, uncut footage that just me thinking out loud. And it's just an interesting concept where everybody thinks that passion is something that like you arrive to and like you find, but you don't. You don't find it. You more so randomly stumble upon something. But the one thing that I do know, as I shut my phone off, the only thing that I do know is the only way that you ever find a passion is by doing stuff. Because if you never do anything, there's no chance that you'll ever find success. So all of that to say, what's something at a minimum you have an interest in? Let's say, for example, I'll use my sister as an example. She's rode horses her entire life. And that's great and all. It's a fun hobby. It's her passion for sure, which is great. But my mind automatically goes to, how do we monetize that? Like, very easily. Like, she knows everything there is to know about horses. Saddles, techniques, etc. Like, I don't know what all goes into horseback riding, but basically everything that goes into it, she knows very well. So at a minimum, why not start a YouTube channel and use your passion to make some easy side money? Like, that's not difficult. It's not difficult whenever you know something. For instance, this video is a little more difficult because I'm kind of thinking out loud. But if I were to make a video on a certain lawnmower brand or how to run a lawn care company or something, I could literally just go. Like, I could record it in 10, 15 minutes, whatever the topic is, right off the cuff and let it rip. Like, there wouldn't need to be much editing. There wouldn't need to be like second, third takes. None of that. Like, I know it so well that I can just record it. And so she would be the same with horses. So that's the key, is like, what have you been doing your whole life? And I don't mean that in like you haven't been doing anything. You've been doing something, whether it's playing video games or it's cooking or whatever, playing in the park or running or something. I don't know. Anything, literally anything. The thing is, you don't even necessarily have to be the best. For instance, running. I am terrible at running. I would be more apt to buy a course or a program from a runner who is a little bit better than me, as opposed to buying a course from like David Goggins or somebody who runs like 100 freaking miles. Why? Because that person that is a little bit better of a runner, like they've ran a half a marathon before, or even a 10K or whatever. Like they've done something that's more than what I've done. It's more relatable. So it's easier for me to relate to somebody who can run 10 miles as opposed to somebody who can run 100 miles whenever I don't run any miles. It's like I'm starting at zero. It's easier to take that one little step and follow that person. Like, what are you doing? Okay, once I take that course, I learn that, I get better, I improve. All right, now I might, as it's honestly becoming a passion a little bit, now I might go into the next tier. Who's that person who's ran a marathon before? Let me go take a course with them or learn from them. Then after I do that, let me go do an ultra marathon. Like there's levels to it and you keep going up. But the point of that is that you don't necessarily have to be the best in whatever that is. Like for instance, I'm not the best data analyst / like engineer in the world, but I am better than a lot of people, like probably in the top 20 to 30%, which means there's 70% of people that are in the industry or very new to the industry that could learn from me, that I could teach. And that's the key. And the more things that you do like that, the quicker you'll figure out like, hey, this is what I'm good at. This comes naturally to me. I'm good at it. It's easier for me to scale and do a lot of content or to put a lot of work in for it. It's very easy for me to do. Like I get in flow state super easy. Like that's cool. That's what you're looking for. Now there's a fine line between doing a lot of things to find your passion and having like the shiny object syndrome, I believe it's called, where it's like squirrel brain. Like I wake up one day and I'm like, I want to start a marketing company. I want to grow lawn care companies. And then the next day I wake up and I'm like, I want to start a YouTube channel. And then the next day I'm like, I think I'm going to start a book club. And then I'm going to, well, maybe I should start an email newsletter instead. And trust me, I say this out of experience. I've done this. I still currently struggle with this a little bit, where I jump from one thing to the next, or I'll get a little bit of success with something and I'm like, okay, great, now I can go to something else. Whereas if I would just do that one thing and double down on it, then it would pay off way more. It would be better. And so that's something that I'm working through currently is how do I do less things, but do more of those few things that I do? I say this because I'm reading Mark Manson's incredible book. But the key to everything that I just said is literally to stop giving an F about so many things. Like stop trying to do 15 different things. Just do one. Because the thing is like the situation I'm in now, like I'm involved with like 5 to 10 things. One of them including like my full-time job. And the crazy thing is I'm looking at it like, okay, well, what should I like double down on and just solely focus on that outside of my full-time job? And the thing is I said on a call earlier was I could probably literally just pick one of the 5 things. Like literally just pick one. It's not a matter of any of them are bad ideas. It's just a matter that I haven't put enough time into any of those 5 things yet because I'm spread thin. Like it's hard to start a YouTube channel and beat people. Like essentially it's a challenge. Like it's a competition, even on say YouTube. And the thing is, it's really hard to win a game when you're putting in 1/5 of the time and effort that somebody else is. So for instance, imagine I start this YouTube channel and I'm talking about whatever. I'm talking about travel and all this other kind of stuff. And I do it full time. Like I am full time creating content, traveling, making videos, posting videos. It's great. Okay, cool. Well, it would be hard for you to compete with me when you have a full-time job and 3 side hustles that all do decent, but they all take up time. Then you decide to add another side hustle of you starting a personal YouTube channel, and it would be very difficult for you to compete with me in that situation where I'm dedicating all my time, all my resources, all of my effort to this one thing, and you're giving 20% of your time and effort to this one thing. Like the odds of you winning are slim to none. I mean, it's basically equivalent to playing a football game and you've got 11 guys on offense and I've got 3 on defense. It's not going to work. Like I'm going to lose, guaranteed. Like the the chips are just stacked against me to begin with. So like from there, what do you do? So this is funny because I think this is more of like a therapy session for myself. And I mean, hopefully people get something from this. Hopefully it's beneficial. This is literally random, just straight from the hip rambling. Hopefully there's some value in it. But all that to say is when you're just starting out, say yes a lot. Once you find some success and you start to see that your passion is being cultivated, then you start saying no. A lot, like to almost everything. So, for instance, you might start out and say, hey, I'm going to start a YouTube channel. I'm going to throw some videos against the wall and see what sticks. I'm going to throw some shorts out. Shorts are easier to make, so I'm going to see like what kind of works there. I'm going to throw that out. Then maybe I'm going to start a little drop shipping business and try that out. Try those 2 or 3 things. But as soon as one starts to catch traction, that's when you begin to say no. And a lot of people struggle, including myself, at saying no. It's very easy to say yes because it's very easy to kind of be in this delusion where you think you can do all of these different things and you think you can manage 10 different things when in reality you can't. It's more difficult than you initially anticipate. I mean, it's the same as like building a house. Well, it's easy to look at a blueprint and say, hey, it's going to take us probably 2 months to build this house, and then actually get the materials there and start building it, and then you start running into roadblocks and you start running out of materials or any number of different things, and then it ends up taking 6 months. So all that to say, to 1, go out and try a bunch of things. 2, once you find that thing, or if you have already found that thing, double down, be the best at it, perfect it, and the only way that you can do that is reps. You got to get your reps in. For instance, me creating a video, you have to get your reps in, where like my videos currently pretty much suck. But that's okay. They're going to get better over time. Each time I'm going to do something a little bit differently. I'm going to increase the overall quality of it over time. So that comes in time, but get reps in. Reps. It's not necessarily about like making it perfect and making sure that every single word is perfect and every lighting is perfect. Like I don't have lighting. I don't even have lights on right now. I'm literally sitting in an Airbnb and that's it, with a microphone and a camera in front of me. Super easy. So I'm going to wrap this up now, and I thank you guys. If you've stayed this long, I thank you. Like, subscribe, do whatever. If you like this, get value from it. Keep me motivated by liking it, leaving comments or whatever. Happy to hear from you guys. And yeah, thanks. I'll see you in the next video.